So the disclaimers on this video, because you're going to hear some very strong opinions from me. I was in both public and homeschool. This is, in my experience, fully accurate, and it is the same in a lot of other people's experiences. But at the same time, some people had it good and bad in both homeschool and in public school. Just throwing that disclaimer out because, I feel like I have to. And then two, I also don't get paid for any of these opinions. I'm not affiliated, sponsored by nobody, and these are all authentic to me and pure honesty from me and from the heart. I want to give free information to anyone out there who's maybe not liking their school, concerned parents, anybody. I don't care, just making this video for the world, and I hope it helps anybody. The disgusting public school I had the misfortune of going to was called Grant High School. And the more formal name to this garbage was actually called Ulysses Grant High School. You can look it up, it's in Los Angeles, California. The middle school I went to was Millikan Middle School. This place looked kind of nice because of the environment and everything, the landscaping. But don't get it wrong, I got traumatized over there. So that place was not exactly a safe house either. And then elementary school was more, even as an adult, not just in a children's perspective, I still see there was issues with Sherman Oaks Elementary where I went. Some of the teachers were straight up rude, and you would expect more from teachers who were working with kids. But then there was also some rules that I really did not agree with, and I'll kind of get into that later on. And then the educational happy place that I had was homeschool. It's more formally known as like a public charter school or independent study, but it was basically homeschool because we only went there to take the tests and then talk to teachers about stuff, and then to kind of, get more homework for like the next week and stuff. We only went, I think it was like twice a week to school, and then the rest of it was just studying at home. So that place was called Opportunities for Learning. Shout out, one of my favorite places ever. I'm so sad that they closed the Studio City location that I used to go to, but that place was literally a safe place. Like, it was amazing. So I'll get into that too later on. Just as a side note, in case you see it online, Options for Youth, it's basically the same as Opportunities for Learning. It's the same company, just another extension, I think, or a sister branch to this school with another name. Zero tolerance policy against bullying in public school is one of the biggest lies I've ever seen in my life. The school will literally go and they will smile and say, yes, students will be safe here. Yeah, enjoy it. It's a great place. No, it sucks. Okay, it's a lie. I don't know why they're even allowed. I don't know how the entire school system doesn't just get like banished or like punished severely and lawsuited, but it's literally disgusting. Like, the way they treat bullying is that they don't care about it. And people just have to kind of go through it as if it's like this passage of life. Okay, there's suicides for bullying. There's a lot of things that happen because of bullying, and people don't really get it. And I think it's almost like this invisible sense of being desensitized to it because everyone just kind of grows up hearing it, and then there's like violence in general in life and all this. And it's almost brought by the media in a way where don't cry about it, acknowledge it, and keep going. That's completely wrong. Like, people should not be desensitized. People should be able to feel bad when these things happen. Anybody who gets hurt and is close to someone, they feel pain. I think we should be able to feel that pain to anybody else, because any human person, any animal, anyone who gets hurt, it's like natural to feel bad. It's not like, oh, another person got hurt. That's messed up. I don't even understand that. But that's how schools are. They just genuinely don't care. In my middle school, there was a box, and it was a tissue box. It was empty. They took all the tissues out. They said, put your complaints in here. You know what they do? They trick you. They literally tricked me in middle school. They put me inches away from the bully. They didn't tell me they were going to do anything. Just randomly in a week or two, they called me. They're like, hey, come to the office. I was like, what? What did I even do? And then I go over there, and then who's over there? 2 minutes later, the bully sitting inches away. I got mentally traumatized by this bully. Like, I'm telling you, this bully is so sadistic. If he somehow finds my videos and he watches this, he's still going to be laughing till today. This kid should be in jail. He should legitimately be in jail. And I actually did start a police file, but I was so scared that he would retaliate that I didn't continue it. Okay, these are not easy things to speak of, but this is the stuff that I want to talk about, because as much as it's hard and personal to talk about, this could potentially save lives of other people. Like, if some student gets bullied, yes, call the police. If the police can help, go the whole way on them. You did not deserve to be bullied. If you did nothing, you don't deserve to suffer. You don't deserve PTSD like I got, mental trauma and all this stuff and emotional damage. No one deserves these things, okay? It's messed up. And then now you add it into my high school, Grant, there was weapons there, okay? There was random weapon checks. I think countries who ban weapons, as much as I know a lot of Americans are gonna be like, yo, you're messed up, we all need weapons for self-defense. Maybe, I don't know. No one of us can really judge that, but we can all pretty much agree that if there's no guns and no violence and no knives, especially not those long ones that go like this, hiding in people's lockers like they were in Grant, you're not going to exactly have weapon crimes if people don't have weapons to begin with. Unless some cop is going to go throw it to a kid and then the kid takes it. And that's already a really messed up issue of its own. So what I'm saying is that bullying is not cared about in public school. Bullying in homeschool is treated completely different. And again, this is the place that I went to. I can't speak about every place, but at the place that I went to, in Opportunities for Learning, if there was bullying, I think it's perfectly said the way that my friend who's extremely close to me, he was with me in that school, he said it the best. If somebody ended up getting bullied, you just don't see them the next day or two. Like, they investigate very fast. They're very highly trained teachers. These are very kind people with actual hearts, beating hearts, all right? These are humans with compassion. That's the teachers. It's like everybody was an angel handpicked, and I went to a lot of different centers for different trips and stuff, and people were amazing in that school, okay? It was amazing. So they would investigate it, they'd figure it out. If someone was genuinely a bully, that person would be kicked. They'd tell the person and their parents like, hey, this person's not coming here anymore. That's it, deal with it, we don't want this environment. They don't want the virus of bullying to be spread. And that's an amazing thing that I thank them from my heart. You know, the fact that I was able to go through that time without getting bullied, without getting harassed, traumatized, it was an amazing thing, you know, and like my friend actually explained it, I saw red. I went through it so fast, that school, because I could have taken my time. I could have enjoyed school longer in homeschool. I didn't, because I was so messed up from public school that I just wanted to be like, I'm done. I see this stupid high school diploma. I'm done with it, and I don't care about school anymore. Finished. And so I ended up missing some probably more fun opportunities, but I'm not going to complain because I saw and had great times over there. I went with trips to people, you know, with people. There was a lot of really amazing experiences. So there was nothing that I can say at all that I didn't like about that particular place that I went to for homeschool. And I know a ton of other people, they really loved it there. So that's my take on bullying, how you see it in Opportunities for Learning, homeschool, how you see it in Grant, Milliken, and elementary. Elementary, they kind of took bullying maybe a little bit seriously. They didn't care much either. It was like pretty rough over there. Yeah, that's what I gotta say about bullying. A lot of parents believe this common annoying myth, and it's that if you put your kids in public school, they're gonna have to do their homework. If you put them in homeschool, they're gonna be lazy, eat cereal, and watch TV and SpongeBob all day. They're not gonna do their work. They're gonna get held back, eventually roll back to public school. Let me just break that myth apart into simple reasons, again, based on personal experience. If your kid cannot stand being in school, are you forcing them to be in an environment that really does not fit them? You can't determine 100% because you're not there. You can't tell them, you're fine, get through this school, you'll be okay. You don't know. Genuinely, as a parent, you don't actually know if that's the truth. I was in Grant, I got death threatened, all right? I know what it's like to be in danger. Not a lot of people know that, but I did. And I know, besides the danger part, that students deserve the chance to let themselves shine. And if you put them in a better environment where they don't have bullying, harassment, maybe they just like the system better, whatever, they might actually surprise you and actually be happier. Why not give them that chance? I understand if parents are not in a position where they're at home all day, they can't be around their kid or can't teach the kid or monitor them doing their homework. I get that. That's a separate issue. But I'm saying if you have the opportunity or you can make that opportunity to potentially give your kids some better years in school, reduce mental, emotional, and possibly physical damage from being in public school, why not give them that chance? You can't fully determine what they're going through because they're the ones there. You're the ones outside the fence. It's different. Some people are more functionally better in the day and some people are at night. Because of that, not everyone works the same. In public school, you don't have an option. You're in high school, you're in middle school, you're in elementary, doesn't matter. You're there like 8 hours a day, sometimes longer, and you're there during the day and pretty early in the day as well. So that means that if you're a night person, and on top of that, like me, you got bullied between class to class, in class, everywhere in that damn campus altogether, then you're basically going to have some level of possibly PTSD. You're not going to be in peace. You're not going to really be able to function because you may only be thinking about, oh, I'm going to get bullied when I get out of this class, or someone there is going to harass me, or someone there might punch me or something. You never know. You just don't know. So when you're under constant stress all the time, how are you supposed to do better in the day? You can't. You'll fall asleep in class. You'll zone out. You may kind of be receptive to things that you want to hear, like if the teacher starts talking about something interesting. But aside from that, you might just get drained and you just don't like to be there at all. And then you don't do good in school or whatever. You know, I tried my best to get past whatever I was going through. But like a lot of people, it haunted me. It wasn't easy to get through class to class. I couldn't do it. And, you know, I was thankfully able to get pretty good grades, but my grades were like straight A's in homeschool. Like, it shows you the difference. So if your kid is better at night, don't judge them for it. Just understand it. Like, that's what they do. That's what they do. They may not be lazy or procrastinating. It just may be the time where they're better. It might change. I do better now in the day than I used to be, but people change over time. Could be even a reaction, just the fact that they need time to unwind away from how damaging public school can be, that they have to give themselves a long time to really free themselves from suffering just to get into the homework again. Because it's like, imagine suffering, then you stack homework on that. It's like you go from one job of a manager you hate and then you go to another one. It's not easy. And this is real talk. This is why I called this video Unfiltered, because these things need to be said. Not a lot of people will say things the way I say it, and that's fine. Everyone says it in their own way. But I think these particular details really do need to be said to actually get people to understand how traumatic school can be. I graduated early in homeschool, and that would have never been a possibility for me, and probably for a lot of people in public school. Homeschool, you're not getting dictated by some teacher, minus the good ones. You're not going to get screamed at, dictated, ruled by some teacher who doesn't want to be there, trying to tell you what to do for the next 8 hours. Okay, that's not happening. And two, there's packet systems. It's like the closest thing at this time to heaven in homework that exists. So that's in homeschool. That would probably never make it to public school. They don't like fun or good or people really learning, I don't think. But anyway, that's what that is. So the packets, the way they run it is like this. You have different packets of different classes. So let's say you have Algebra 1. If Algebra 1 is supposed to be a one semester class, you're going to get 5 packets. At the end of every packet, you're going to turn that in, take a test, you're done, goodbye packet, never have to see it again, life is good. Go on to the next packet. Obviously, you're usually, with the time, you're usually doing like 2 or 3 packets, and then you submit, you take 1 or 2 tests at a time, because in opportunities for learning, I think we went to class like twice a week, pretty sure. So we only go there for 1 hour at a time. That's literally heaven to probably a lot of students who might hear this from public school. And so think of it more of a testing center with some teacher guidance, because that's really what it is. You study at home because the packet is your homework, your study guide, your test prep all together in one. So you have, let's say for algebra, maybe 40 pages as an example. You have 40 pages and then you'll have 5 at the end. The 5 at the end are your exam prep. So those 5 are going to be everything covered in the previous 40. But that's going to be exactly what's on your test. And obviously, I had trust issues, right? So when I went to homeschool from public, I was used to public school saying, oh, this homework is easy, or just get it done, or whatever. They don't generally, like 99% of the time, tell you where in the chapter your homework is. Let me just break down how messed up that is compared to homeschool. You don't hunt and gather and you're exhausted and all this stuff in homeschool. Every single page, it tells you like 5 or 6 questions, and it tells you at the bottom or the top or whatever, your answers will be found on page 19 to 22 of your textbook. Okay, so that's all it was. You're not drained out of your mind at the end of the day and you still have to go figure out where your homework answers are. It's not like that. Like, they tell you every single page for all 40. And the 40 to 45, I was like having trust issues because I would tell the teacher, I would ask them, is this really like what the test is? And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. This is exactly it. And it was. If it was minorly changed, it wasn't like the minor change that was intentionally made to make you mess up on the test in public school, but generally it was the exact same question from what I remember. And honestly, people do good with that because you just memorize it. You worked, you're not cheating. You worked hard, you got your answers, you did it. And then now you have, let's say, I think it was like 30 or something questions. I don't know how much it was on Scantron, but your last 5 pages are legitimately your test. So you're copying everything you've done in page 1 to 40, not everything, but all the questions throughout that for the rest of the last 5 pages. Now you just memorize that last 5, you're good for the test. You don't go and memorize the entire chapter, try to figure what's a good outline for this class and get like brain mushed and all that. You don't need that. They give it to you in a straightforward, honest, from the heart way. And it's an amazing system. I really think that system should be in university. I don't care if it's like PhD level, that's how it should be. Because people want to learn and go. Okay, let's be very honest here. People don't want to go hunting for answers and all this stuff. That's probably a reason why a lot of people cheat, because they're just so worried about, am I going to find the answer, or how much time I have to spend on this, so they just want to shortcut it. If you give them a straightforward path, they're not going to try probably to shortcut it. They're just going to do what they need to and keep going. It's a lot better. It's more humane. We were told in homeschool that if we want to graduate at the same normal time as public school, we would have to do 4 packets a month. The recommended amount was 6. And they don't always tell you about the 4 until you ask, because sometimes people are having a situation with family or whatever and they aren't able to get the 6 packets in. So they think they're going to like fail or something or get kicked out of the school. That's usually when people started knowing that it's like 4. But 6 was very reasonable. I recorded this in so many clips and so many times. I don't remember if I said how many I used to do. I was a very extreme case. I wanted to be done with school very fast. I did, I think, 16, 17 packets. So believe me, 6 is really not bad. Okay, I was consistently doing like 13 to 18 per month, or however much I did around that. So it's very possible doing 6, doing 7, doing 8 was usually the average on a lot of people. And that gave people time to relax at home, be with family, not being like mentally distressed. Oh, wow, I got homework running after me, like I'm never gonna finish. Like, you still have time with that, believe me. And it's overall just a very functional system. And I can only wish that that system would follow on to like PhD level in pretty much almost every school, unless they find a better one. But in the meantime, that's about the best homework work system that there really is for school. And I think some people might be wondering if there was like finals and stuff. We didn't have finals. What we had was, state mandated tests. So for us, it was the ones that California made us do. But besides that, you don't get midterms and finals in OFL. I can't speak for all the homeschools, but where I went, we didn't have it. Every packet that you finish, you take an individual test on that and you just progress. That's just what you do. You only go to the testing center, aka the school, for 1 hour, like twice a week. And then you just tell them if you want to do 1 test, you want to do 2. Usually you have to get 1 done. If you're like very ahead, you just kind of study and do homework. But that's pretty much it. So it wasn't really too intense or anything. I mean, you kind of get joy in seeing these packets disappear little by little. It was a really magical moment for me. I honestly think finals and midterms are a waste. I don't think you get smarter by doing them. I don't think you learn better by doing them. I think you get more stress and it just affects your life in a negative way. I genuinely think that from all my heart. Some people might think you don't get social activities, you don't get to make friends in homeschool, and that's not true. This is the path to clear that up. I didn't get any field trips in middle or in high school. I got them in public school and then I got them in homeschool. And they were very nice in homeschool. They were very organized. It was awesome. A couple of teachers, maybe 20 or so students, like whoever wanted to go. And it was really fun. It was like a couple of hours, and we went to a theater play. We went to a science museum. I wasn't really into science, but the place we went, it was like amazing. And then I think there was a third one too. And then there was a trip that I took to Colorado through the school because I just really worked so hard on the homework that I guess I was chosen for like some trip for it. And yeah, there was a lot of opportunities. And so you meet friends, you know, teachers are really actually caring for you there. It's not like, oh, that kid ran away, let's go find them if we care. No, it's not like that. They really keep an eye on you. And for the parents out there, they genuinely do care about your students in OFL. I don't think anything has changed when I went there. It was literally the Disneyland of schools because it was straight up magical. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of opportunities to make friends. There was different events. I was only there for like 8 to 10 months. My close friend, he was there for like 4 years, all of high school. He saw a lot of different events and it was really cool. There was other ways people made friends too, like before class, after class. If people came a little bit early of their appointment to go to school, you know, the 1 hour at the testing center, or they were just waiting to get picked up after class, they would usually talk with each other. And I think, you know, just like anywhere else, you know, in public school, in life, there's varieties of people and personalities. You have all kinds of people. It's not just a bunch of people who are like, oh, I hate public school. It's not like that. Even though many of them probably did, but it wasn't like that. There was people with all kinds of interests, just like anywhere else. And people definitely had people they can connect to. And I think the one common characteristic that did join a lot of people together is that they didn't like a lot of the things that happened in public school, and they were very grateful to be in homeschool. There's another thing I had to add to this video. It's very important, and it's a terrible circumstance that happens. I don't even think that students tell the parents a lot of times, or if the parents are even aware. One of them, very fast, I'm going to get into it, there's some public shaming that happens between teachers doing it to students on certain things. I don't want to talk about it, but there is that. And it's not in this intention that people will just imagine things. I might later on put it in the comments, but sometimes either students do a mistake or they don't do anything at all. And teachers and other students will publicly shame, and sometimes even principal, possibly, I don't know. But I've seen it happen from teachers, and it's really messed up. It really is. It shouldn't happen. And then there's another thing. I was usually not the type to drink a lot of water because I go restroom very fast. Like, I process the water very fast. Till today, I tried to time when I drank the water to not be an inconvenience to myself or others or where I am. And basically, there was times where I had to drink a lot of water. I was very thirsty, so I went to the fountain, had to go to the restroom in the beginning of the break between classes, recess, lunch, whatever you want to call it. There would be all kinds of situations, regardless. There was times where I would get 10, 15, whatever minutes into the lunch, into the cafeteria zone, and I would talk to the cafeteria person and I would tell them, you know, I have the free lunch ticket, and then they wouldn't give the food because they'd say the cafeteria was empty. So I was starving until then, and then I got double starving after then. The other thing, to wrap this up, homeschool will not be for everyone. Public school will not be for everyone. There is a lot of things that I will always hate in public school. Their system is flawed. I don't understand why it is as terrible as it is, but it is, and that's nearly facts because a lot of people went through it. And I would say to parents, please have compassion to your kids. Try to understand that if they're telling you they're not happy in school, it's not always from something that you might think isn't a big deal. It could be a really big deal. So I just wanted to put that out there. Homeschool may be better for the more sensitive of the people like me, for the more independent people. And, you know, if someone went to Grand and they saw the weapons, very thankful to be alive today. Not gonna lie, I don't know if I actually would have been alive if I kept going to that school for 11th and 12th grade. And I was not one to cause problems. I was like the quiet fly in the side, you know, I wasn't violent, I'm not strong. I'm open about that, like I'm weak. I'm not strong now. I wasn't strong before. I don't know self-defense, and I really should have in that school. So yeah, between death threats and stuff, I'm very thankful to be alive. I really am. I thank God every single day. You know, so I just wanted to close the video with that. I hope this video gives the information that a lot of people were seeking. And thank you very much. Tons of other videos on my channel between vlogs, comedy, acting, and some other random stuff that I thought of doing. So thank you guys very much for watching.